Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to form some other major scales and pluck out the 1-3-5s, and then we're going to also analyze that within the chords. So, yep, let's do a few here. Let's start with, say, G. G would be a good one to start with. So we go G, up a whole step up to A. Then we have to go up a whole step again up to B. Half step to C, whole step up to D, another whole step up to E, whole step up to F sharp, and then finally half step up to G. So we got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Now, as we already learned in the last lesson, we have to pick out the 1-3s and 5s. 1 is G, 2, 3 is B, 4, 5 is D. So we have a G, B, and D. Those are our triad notes. So now let's go ahead and analyze a G major chord. So here we go. Here's our G. Hopefully you're able to form this chord. If not, no big deal. Just kind of, just go ahead and try to form it, even if your fingers are hanging over, leaning over and muffling out the chord and you can't play the chord clearly. You can work on that later. For now, we're kind of using this as an analytical kind of tool. So go ahead and form this chord anyways. And it's a good idea to get some kind of chord chart or something so you can go through all the chords and actually, at least make the formation. So this is good anyways too, because it'll give you some practice on forming the chords. But again, we're going to do this for analyzing purposes. So let's take a look at it. So we have a G right here, which is a 1, a B, which is our 3, and our D, which is our 5. So there's our 1-3-5. Now let's look at the rest of the notes in the chord. Here's our G, which is our 1. Here's our D, which is a 5. And then here is our G again, which is our 1. Now, we have this version of G, but we could always just play this version right here, where you're just playing these 3 notes. You only fret those, and these are all open. And again, now we just turn that 5 into a 3. Here's a B. Again, a 1, 3, 5. There's a 1, 3, and a 1 again, right there. So you can use either one, that version or this version. And good to check out both. You can see how the different tones work within these different versions of the chord. So there you go. As you see, all there is in here are G's, B's, and D's. Nothing else. Those are the only 3 tones that were within the chord. Even though there's other tones that are, in the chord besides like these 3, you're playing these other 3 right here, but they're just repeating our 1s, 3s, and 5s. So there you go. There's our G. So now let's go ahead and let's just try another one. Okay, so now let's try, say, let's try D. So we got to go up a whole step up to E, whole step up to F sharp, then a half step up to G, whole step up to A, whole step up to B, whole step up to C sharp, and finally a half step up to D. So we got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Again, we're going to pick out the 1-3-5s. Our D is 1, 2, 3 is F sharp, 4, 5 is A. So we have a D, F sharp, and A. Now let's go ahead and form a D chord. And let's see how those fit in. So if we take a look, we got our D, which is of course 1. Here's an A, which is our 5, D, which is 1 again, and our F sharp, which is our 3. So all we have in here is our D's, F sharps, and A's. There's only one note repeating, that's the D in this particular chord. So yeah, that's all it's contained within that chord, those 3 triad notes that we plucked out of the D major scale. That's the way it works with every single chord, every single triad chord. There are, of course, extended chords, which are 7s, 9s, 11s, and that includes a 4th note. But we'll talk about that another time. We're talking about triads here. So there you go. There was your D major chord. We pluck out the 1, 3s, and 5s and formed our D major chord. Did I say D major chord? We formed a D major scale, plucked out the 1s, 3s, and 5s, and then we formed a D major chord out of those. So that's it for that one. Let's try one more. Okay, so this time let's try E. So we got E. We got to go up a whole step to F. Then we got to go up another whole step to G sharp. Then we got to go up a half step to A. Up a whole step up to B. Whole step up to C sharp. Whole step up to D sharp. And finally our E. So we have a lot of sharps in this one. So we got E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. So yeah, there's 4 sharps in there. So what we're mainly concerned with here again is our 1, 3s, and 5s. We got our 1 is E, 2, 3 is G sharp, 4, 5 is B. So E major would be E, G sharp, and B. Find an E major chord, or form of E major chord, and we will analyze this. And if we take a look at it, we got our E, which is 1, our B, which is a 5, E, which is again 1, G sharp, which is our 3rd, B, which is our 5 again, and our E again, which is our 1. So even though these are repeating over and over again, all we have in here is our E, G sharps, and B. That's the 3 triad notes we have in this chord. So yeah, there you go. This is an example of 3 of these. So I would say go ahead and work on these 3, but work on the rest of them. And what I would say is, if you only know open chords, then what you want to focus on is your A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Actually, B, we really play that as a bar chord, so you might skip B for right now. And go ahead and you're just going to form, an A major. Again, you might skip B for now. Although, go ahead and do B anyways. You can form a B major chord, a B major scale, and pluck out the 1, 3s, and 5s. Just analyze it. And then again, if you're not able to play a B major bar chord yet, then you can skip form the chord. Then you can go to C, make a C major scale, pluck out the 1, 3, 5s, make that chord. Same with D, do the same thing with D, E, F. Again, if you don't know how to form an F, then get a chord diagram, form that F anyways, even if it's all muffled out, doesn't sound great. You're just gonna use it for analyzing purposes. So you're gonna make that F chord, and then you're actually gonna write out the F major scale. And then you're going to pluck out the 1, 3s, and 5s. And then you're going to go ahead and analyze that F major chord and make sure you see how every note within that chord is one of your 1, 3s, or 5s that you plucked out of the major scale. So, by the way, you don't have to actually write out that. It might help to write out the major scale on a piece of paper, but you can go ahead and do this all on the guitar, just like you see right on here, like we did on here. And then, so yeah, your A's, you can skip B if you want, as far as forming the chord, but go ahead and write and find the B major scale on your guitar and pluck out the 1, 3, 5s, and the C, D, E, F, and G. So do that with all of those. And if you are okay with making actual bar chords, then you can go ahead and use your B, and then you can actually start going into, you know, F sharp or C sharp or any of those. You can make those actual bar chords and analyze that. But having said that, you can still do half of the job here. You can say F sharp. You can go ahead and find your F sharp major scale and just pluck out the 1, 3s, and 5s just to kind of see what those are. You're not going to be able to, if you can't make bar chords, you're not going to be able to make an F sharp major bar chord. So you don't worry about that. But you can make the scale and pluck out the 1, 3, and 5s just to analyze that. But aside from that, it's a good idea to play those basic open chords and analyze it and see how the notes fit in. And by the way, to find each note, like say on here, E is pretty easy. You want to find B, then okay, you just count on each note. A, B, okay, D, E. If it was say G, we were playing the G we were playing earlier. You have notes way up here, just okay, B, C, D. Oh, okay, I see. E, F, G. Oh, that's a G, so that's the 1. And then, yeah, when you went up here, B, C, D. Oh, a D, that's the 5th. So you have a G, B is the 3rd, D is the 5th. So, you know, you can work on it that way. And hopefully by now you know how to count up the each string. B, C, D, E, F, you know, your natural notes, or even your enharmonics, B, C, C sharp, D. But if you haven't, then you're going to have to go back and work on that. By this point, you should know that. If you don't know that, then go back and work on that first. But yeah, there you go. There is how you form the this is your assignment. That's what I want you to do. Form these major scales, pluck out the 1, 3, 5s, and play the open chords that you know and analyze and see how they mix together. All right, that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the next one.